learn what you need to learn to beat Daddy Saturn, but don't expect to beat him right away. Like there's gonna be a few tries before we get there. Hello, and welcome to Mercury Rising. This is another Keeping Up with the Moon, the show where I keep up with the moon, see what's up, and tell you what that means. I hope you had a good new moon, and I hope you enjoyed the video that I posted yesterday. That was a lot of fun to make, and it was nice mixing what I know about astrology and what I know about music to create something that I haven't seen before, at least. I know that I'm not the only astrologer who also does music, but yeah, I hope you liked it. And if you did, do the fun stuff, like, comment, subscribe, all of those things, I guess. Yes, so August 9th, today, first day after the new moon, so we're gonna get right into it. But like always, these come straight from the posts on my Instagram where I do daily delineations. And because of that, it's always best to go there, read the delineation, then come here, see what it means, and then after that, do some thinking on your own and see how the moon's business is relevant to you at a given moment. So with that said, let's get into the astrology of today. Nice. So yeah, I moved myself to the other side just because I realized that I was covering a quarter of the chart. So now, hopefully, you can see the whole chart. Yes, okay, so let's go back to August 9th. I actually recorded all of these before, and I realized that my microphone wasn't working, so I'm going to be redoing it. And hopefully, these are going to be a little bit better than they were before. So, yes, August 9th. What's going on? It's the first day after the new moon, so there's a lot of those sort of energies, vibes, or whatever you want to call it, kind of getting figured out. One of the big things that I mentioned yesterday was this idea of the sun versus Saturn, and Saturn as like this big daddy boss that you gotta be. And I guess as we're still working our business out with Leo, the moon is just about to leave Leo in the chart, I think at 7 a.m. here in Toronto, so probably by like 9:10 the moon would be out of it and entered Virgo. But before we get into the Virgo situation, it's good to mention a little bit more of the Leo situation, just because yesterday I focused a lot on the second decan of Leo, but today the moon is actually going to go through the third, and that's where she'll also conjoin Mercury. Right after the moon leaves Leo, she actually will enter Virgo and also conjoin Mars, so there's quite a martial theme going on today. If yesterday we were talking about the big boss battle and trying to figure all of that out, with this last little bit of Leo, especially the decan of Mars and Leo, it's all about crafting that sense of like heroism within yourself and really just feeling good in that sort of role. Like the role of the hero, really feeling good about lifting yourself up and feeling up to the challenge. Because as we enter Virgo, that's just the challenge. It's the training grounds, and it's the learning of the cheat codes that you're gonna need to actually be the boss. Or if you don't want to cheat, learning the perfect timing for the boss battle, so you can avoid any of the punches that Saturn throws at you. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, especially with the conjunction to Mercury. I guess it's really about learning yourself, learning your limitations, and learning the things that other people are gonna judge and bring you down for, so you can counteract it and like lift yourself back up. Going into this Virgo mood for the next few days, being lifted is gonna be necessary, not because Virgo is a bad sign or because Mars is in Virgo and that's gonna be awful. No, that's far from it. I think it's just there's just so much work to do as we're going to Virgo that you're gonna need that image of the hero to motivate yourself as we go through it. So yes, the moon leaves Leo, enters Virgo. So the moon is going to conjoin Mars in the first decan of Virgo, and I think that's also the terms. Well, that's the terms of Venus, and that's the thing that I want to leave for tomorrow. So I won't talk too much about the terms. We're just gonna focus on this first decan. Yes, this first decan still has a little bit of that. Okay, let's figure it out. Let's learn what we need to know. Like, do I want to use the cheat codes, or do I want to just train until I figure out all the timings and all the curveballs of Saturn? Saturn is actually unable to see Virgo from where he is right now, so there's almost a sense of like being able to take a step back from the Saturnian issues and doing some background training. If we're really going with that idea of the boss battle being Saturn, it's almost as if you get to practice and to try things out of sight from Saturn. So when you actually go back into that battle, you have a little bit of a surprise factor. Saturn in Aquarius, at least, is the thing that we're going to have to get really acquainted with for the next little while. Saturn is going to stay there for a big time. One of the things that I wanted to mention with that is that even though we're really in this mode where we're trying to figure things out and we're trying to step into a place where we're feeling a little bit more comfortable and with some degree of certainty of what we're going to do, that's not going to come anytime soon. Like the whole Mars situation, the Mars Moon Venus situation here in Virgo is really nice for learning and for figuring all these issues out. But one of the big things that we have to remind ourselves is that, one, we're not embodying this attitude of at all costs. Let's just do it. Let's get it. Because it's Mars. It's Mars in a mercurial sign, so we're gonna get that sense of speed and heat. It's still it's in an Earth sign, so it's a little bit colder. It shows out Mars a little bit, but we might still feel that push and pull between wanting to go faster, wanting to take more things at a given time than we can or that we should. So that's definitely a thing that we need to pay attention to. And yes, be gentle, but don't be afraid to lean in on this Mars and Moon conjunction, because I feel like there's a lot of good in there too, especially if we look at here, especially in Toronto. This will be happening when Mars is below the horizon, so he's a full-on nighttime baby feeling really good, and is also during the day of the moon and the hour of Mars. So I think that this configuration can be quite productive if we're putting it in, if we're setting the intention to put it in the right place. But because Mercury is not there, we can run into a little bit of the issues of being left to both Mars and the moon unsupervised. So yeah, learn what you need to learn to beat Daddy Saturn, but don't expect to beat him right away. Like there's gonna be a few tries before we get there. So with that said, this is the astrology of August 9th. And if you like these, please do leave a comment. I'd love to hear how these are playing out in your life. I think it would be really interesting for me to see it, but also just for me to know that people are actually liking it and it's actually relevant. And if I need to make any changes. So with that said, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. I'd like to take this moment to thank and credit my teachers and people who have influenced me throughout my studies. These are also people who I may quote from time to time. Vadius Fallons, Dimitra George, Patrick Watson, Firmicus Maternus, Dorotheus, Lisa Shine, Austin Coppa, Kelly Surtees, Gemini Brett, Samuel Reynolds, Hermes, T. Susan Chang, Mel Moline, Chris Brennan, Saint Expedite, Gordon White, Connor Habib, and Eric L. Arnenson.